Find me someone who hasn't.
Yeah.
Like, just a shit real estate agent.
Why do you think that is the case?
Because they're
Welcome back to the Sharehouse podcast. My name is Mikey D. I'm joined by my best friend and co-host, Joel Harris. Whoa, wow.
Voice for me? Let's go.
And today we are honoured. It's a privilege, a pleasure. Gosh darn, am I excited.
Oh, yeah.
We have the person that's single-handedly saving us from the rental crisis in the house. Makes noise of purple pingers. Hello.
Anyone ever call you purple poggers?
So, not yet.
Let's make it a
soon.
Hello,
Hello.
sir. It's good to have you here.
It's nice, Mike.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, hey, thank you. That's
Nice
me.
man. You create content around the most disgusting share homes within Australia.
Yep.
And you're probably the voice at the moment that's giving people hope, renters hope at least.
Yeah, there's a couple. Folks doing a great job. There's more, but I'll take it.
Is there pressure on that you're the guy at the moment, or a part of a group?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of pressure. I don't know. I'm just saying what people feel at the end of the day. So I don't know if it's pressure. It's just like, nah, it's not pressure. It's just I've got lots of thoughts.
And you make it really accessible as well, looking at like the worst of the worst. Like even if you're in a stable position, you can see that and be like, oh man, that's bad. That's really awful.
Yeah.
Objectively, that's shocking. Which leads us into our first segment, my friend.
Beautiful.
I've prepared a surprise segment for both of you today.
I'm excited.
Because this is so up your wheelhouse, up your alley. And Joel, I'm just excited for your reaction. My friends, welcome to Aussie Rental or Drug Den. A fun family-friendly game where we get to decide, is it an Aussie rental or is it a drug den? You'll have 5 seconds to make up your mind each, and then we'll be exposing the home. These are all Aussie listings current right now. Let's start with home number 1. Is it a rental or a drug den? You have 5 seconds.
Rental for sure.
Yeah, I'll go rental.
Rental? It is a rental, a point each.
That's a good choice though, because it looks really unassuming. It looks like someone could be in the basement cooking meth or something.
Well, we don't know. And that's exciting.
Well, you do apparently.
On to the next one. 5 seconds, my friend. Rental or drug den?
Rental, done.
Rental?
Yeah, we'll go rental. It looks like there's nothing in it.
All right. It is a den.
Damn.
It's close. It could have been a rental. Rental or drug den? This one's a tough one. Open space, barely a wall in sight, or amenity.
Look, it's either a drug den or a Queensland rental.
Oh.
I reckon.
Rental.
Why do you think Queensland rental?
'Cause they look like that.
Just open floor plans?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably
Let's
one big
reveal.
window behind the camera.
It is a rental.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nice.
fellas. I hope you're keeping score because I'm not.
We're currently the same. When we get some disparity, then I'll pipe up.
On to the next home. This one looks like a prison cell with a bed frame.
That's a rental.
Is that not a prison cell? Yeah, that's like a student housing. That's a rental.
Yeah.
And it is, in fact, a rental. You fellas are on today.
Great.
On to a couple of the last ones here. Rental.
Oh, that's a den on my street. I've seen that door.
It's slightly boarded up. I think there's a notice of eviction there.
I think a window used to be there.
Yeah.
But hey, the aim of the game is it a den or is it a rental?
It's gotta be a den.
It's den, bro.
Fellas, it is a den.
It's close though.
Astute eyes. Now this one, unassuming. Green home. Potentially should have bricks around it. Doesn't.
It looks like a back door that's trying to be a front door.
To be fair, I've forgotten if this is a den or a rental myself. This was prepped a week ago. What do we think? Lock it in.
Have a look at the plants out the front.
Are they potted plants or is it overgrowth? This is like GeoGuessr as well.
So we had 5
Plants.
seconds. I'm going to say rental.
Yeah. I'm also gonna say it looks like a New Zealand rental.
New Zealand rental.
Yeah.
This is very GeoGuessr. It is a rental. Wowee. Shout out to Century since I did doing jobs. And I believe this is the final home. Rental or drug den, my friends.
Looks like it's in a good spot for a drug den.
Yeah, it
Like,
does.
a bit secluded. no neighbors.
They've framed out the marijuana plant.
Yeah, except
I'm gonna say
the wide angle lens gives me like a real estate agent input.
It's
So
a good day to shoot on as well.
yeah,
Nice
yeah,
bits.
exactly. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on this one.
I'll go Den.
You go Den.
All right, then I gotta go rental.
All right,
Here we go.
This is the decider, I think. It is a rental, my friends.
Damn.
Wow, wow. And thank you
well
so
played.
much for playing Drunk Den or Aussie Rental. We'll see you next week.
No, that was great. Well done. Well
That was
done.
fun, yeah.
I believe you have a dense rental history in your lifetime, and you've come today prepped with a story.
Yeah, I wouldn't say dense. I think I've rented.
It's a history, all right.
it counts, but yeah, no. All right, so I don't know where to start. So I when I moved out from home, I moved to Canberra for work. So I was living with a mate from uni in the city, I guess. And she just started seeing this dude. She told me like a fair bit about him. He seemed really cool. I'd never met him. And at the time after work, I used to work in child sex abuse. So it was very traumatic. And we just, all the work people used to go get drunk every night after work.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
And then we'd come home and like go to bed or whatever. But she'd been telling me about this guy that she's been seeing, and he's really nice, but he like used to have quite a significant meth addiction because Canberra, that's where meth lives.
2 weeks in a row on the meth
two
front.
meths.
Wow.
He's like no longer at the time. She was
Okay.
like, yeah, he struggled with this, and like, you know, we
Sure.
spoke about each other's lives and who they're seeing and whatever. And then so finish work, get absolutely or not drunk at the pub, and then go home, and like I come home, and the layout of the room is you kind of enter, and then there's the living room in the middle. You enter into the living room, TV, kitchen, kind of all there, and then our bedrooms are to either side of the living room.
Yes. Okay.
So I get in, and then they're on the couch watching Peaky Blinders, and I love Peaky Blinders. I was like, oh yeah, like let's, like, I'm not interrupting anything. I'm very drunk, and I'm like, oh cool, like who are you? Sick, nice to meet you. Oh, I think I've heard about you. Yeah, awesome. Go like pour myself a drink, come sit down on the couch. Like it's tiny, like 2-person couch. Like, yeah, let's.
You're paying your way there.
Not a tea, another alcoholic beverage on the shelf. Yeah, gotcha.
And they weren't drinking.
Life of the party, huh?
Exactly. It's why not? And then so we're sitting down. It's like all nice and snug, and then I'm like, not starting to sober up, but maybe a little bit. I'm like, oh, I'm interrupting. It's like halfway through an episode that we've started watching. Like, oh, okay, maybe it's time for me to go to bed, which is just literally next to them. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then it's lovely to meet you. I go to bed, blah, blah, blah. Grab my drink, go to the door. And then at the time, I used to say as a farewell, like, see ya, don't do needle drugs. That I don't know why that I don't say it anymore.
It's a good PSA.
It's like, and then I've switched from like, if you like don't do needle drugs, or if you shake more than 3 times, you're playing with yourself.
Good Charlotte,
like,
sure.
Just whatever. That was the one at the time, no longer. So I go open the bedroom door. They're like literally 2 meters away. Like, good night. Don't do needle drugs. And then I close the door, and I'm like I'm standing at the door. They're 2 meters away, and I've got my drink, and then I'm like, oh, hang on. That's I was like, oh. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fix this. So I open the door, still drunk, and I'm like, unless that's what you got to do. And then close the door. It's just like Friday night, close the door. I'm like, save the day, Jordan. Well done. Well done. Went straight to bed, like passed
Slept
out.
like
It's
a kid.
you're like an absolute baby.
You saved the neighborhood.
So, the next morning, like it's late in the morning, I get up, the lights beautiful, whatever. Not a care in the world, and I go to the kitchen, which is right next to her bedroom.
Yep.
And start making a tea. Blah 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 blah. It's like, do you want a tea? It's like, yeah. I'll be out in a sec. I'm like, cool. She like got the kettle on, it's loud and whatever. She comes out, she's like, Jordan,
No.
Ben's still here.
Oh.
Meth's not a needle drug. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, but she's like, what was that? I was like, I just wanted to, I don't know, I thought it was fine. So yeah, no, we're good now, but don't do needle drugs, and meth isn't a needle drug.
Well, I've learned something today. I didn't know that at all.
What, did she not know that was something you'd say? Was that
No,
not
I
a
think-
regular?
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just,
In
I
that
don't think
instance,
she.
it was
the
I
coming
think
back out.
she expected a bit of self-awareness. Wasn't there.
It's not a needle drug. No, we didn't need to go down that tangent, do we?
Because you do this awkward dance when people have people over. It's like you want it to go well for them, but you're also
yeah.
kind of maneuvering around your home. and,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
you're drunk. You
Yeah.
want to. Yeah, that's tough.
It's great.
If it makes you feel better, once upon a time, I think I've told this story to Joel once, but I was at a ski resort DJing for this company that
Amazing.
had professional snowboarders on their
Yeah.
books, and we're all staying in this one place. And I was young and very excited to be there. And these guys were just very cool snowboarder types.
Yeah.
And one day I come into the kitchen, they're all chatting, and they're just chatting normal life things, nothing to do with snowboarding or
Yeah.
DJing. And
Yeah.
my friend Max is there, who's also a DJ, and he was just holding his own. And I come in like a cool bull in a china shop. What the heck is up, guys? You guys gonna hang 10 today or what? And Max looks at me, and everyone looks at me, and there's silence. And I was like, yeah, I haven't boarded before, but I'm ready to carve it up on the slopes.
High fives in the air.
Yeah. And I just continued. I didn't stop. I didn't take any hint. At least a drunken
keep
you
digging.
took the hint.
Oh, after a while, yeah. No, I know how you feel.
No, my housemates have been hinge dating recently, and I've been frustrated about things, and I ran to them, and then I plank on the floor, and sometimes I do that whole routine while there are other people in the home as well, and there's just not much stop. I'm so comfortable in my walls
in your own home
that like I'm still planking on the floor while there are new people around.
As you should be. It's your place. Do what you need to do.
I wonder about that as well. We talk about sharehousing gripes a lot on this podcast, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest things is when there's other guests in the home,
Yeah.
how much do I need to alter myself to be
Normal.
appropriate and normal? I've got my robe hanging on the back of my door.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to go out in that and that's it? Is that okay?
It's like it's up to you. It's your place.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think you've got to have an ear of shamelessness about you in your own home because it's your own home.
Yeah.
So maybe next time you could say, don't do meth.
Yeah, why not?
Don't do any drugs.
No.
Sure.
We had a tradie come fix stuff in our house today, and he rocked up at 10 to 7 in the morning. So my housemate Stan, who wakes up at 9:30 on a good day, just like answers the door in his robe like, "Oh, hey mate, what's going on?" Yeah. So like that's perfectly acceptable. I think.
Right.
Absolutely.
But that's a guest that isn't, you're not going to see them again.
Yeah, it's not. Hopefully, not a repeat.
Hopefully not. I think he's coming back tomorrow, but hopefully.
I'm too nervous that I'll make another uncomfortable within my home.
See, but I reckon, like, break the seal. Like, they're expecting you to be a little bit weird from the first. Like, what else can you do from there? Like, go hard.
Go rock bottom.
I think exactly what I do. Yeah.
That's a good point. Because instead of you having to be on your toes, you put them on their toes.
Exactly.
You come into my house.
100%. Absolutely.
The
Get
advice
ready.
I thought I was going to get from you wasn't this.
Nah.
I'm so glad it is.
You'd help. No, you gotta be comfortable.
So how long did you live in Canberra for?
I don't know. A year and a bit. Between a year or 2 years.
Okay, a year and 2
Hard to
years.
tell.
And that was everything was squeaky clean after that. Not too much meth use within the home.
Not that I'm aware of. No, no, we're good.
Okay. And so where did you move from there as part of your... Because I assume you've got some background in some rental mishaps that have made you kind of feel a bit patriotic about sticking it up to the landlord.
I don't know. I think, like, for me, like, I went to a private school, mum and dad, like, well off. So I think, like, I'm good. Lived with mum and dad during uni. So, like, in terms of what happened to me, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
It's just, like, got a lot of friends, and they didn't go so well, unfortunately. So, and, like, I feel bad about that because it's like, I was fine.
Yeah.
And I think, we all got a responsibility to stick up for our mates, and I don't think that's happening. So I think we should do something about that.
Yeah. I think I saw an interview with you and you said it's not uncommon for someone to have a run-in with a real estate agent or something bad to happen. Like almost everybody has like their one thing.
Find me someone who hasn't. Like just a real estate agent. You can't. I'm yet to meet someone who hasn't had a shit experience with a real estate agent. Whether you're a landlord or not. Like anyone.
Why do you think that is the case?
Because they're I got like lots of opinions about real estate agents, but I think they're like, I don't want to get too socialist and communist or whatever, but they're class traders. They're evil.
Class traders.
Yeah, it's a working class person who takes something from another working class person and gives it to landlords.
Right.
Yeah. So and they're enablers. It's almost like a cop. At the end of the day, you're enabling a system. Your job is to perpetuate that system, and I think you're evil.
Okay. So with that in mind, I'm assuming you get a lot of comments in the comment section that are on the opposite side. What are those comments looking like for you, and how do you try and navigate a debate?
Yeah, it's fun because like you can't. There's no way to justify it at the end of the day. Like the stuff that I'm talking about, at least, which is like, this is a house, and then someone's like, but there's no but to someone living with like cracks in the ceilings and like a kitchen where there's rain in it, or like asbestos over the stove, or like that. You can't. So any but is like, people, like, I don't even have to comment. Like, people will just be like, did you watch the video? Or like, people will just get in the comments because you can't. There's no, it's not an iffy area. It's like, this is
you're not tackling things that are subjective. It's pretty objectively
that's the
broken.
plan. Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that you dig it out of just like, they're literally the real estate photos. Like, do they expect it to hide in plain sight?
You advertise these. These are your pictures. I'm just talking about your pictures. Yeah. It's like, you can't defend some stuff that they do. And
the fact that it gets picked up anyway, like it's this, they're feeding off that desperation.
Exactly. People are desperate. They need someone to live. It's like, you can't go without it. Yeah. So
now, I was going to say, if there's a place to voice any of your concerns about anything related to sharehousing, you're in the perfect spot right now. Please feel very free.
Yeah. It is a tough place to be in, the position you're in, because you are voicing our concerns.
Yeah.
Do you fear for future rentals? Are you covered on that front? Do you have had bad runnings?
Yeah, so I think like it's not a tough place for me to be in because I have bought a house.
Okay.
I bought. I got.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
You've made it out.
Not in Digger's Rest.
No, not the. Hopefully not. But yeah, no. I bought a house. Went to private school, rich parents, all that jazz. So I'm good. I can't rent again because of what I do.
Yeah.
But like, that's not an issue for me because I'm very lucky to have bought a house.
Yeah.
And if I was renting, I wouldn't be able to get a new place because, like, if you look at what happened to Tom Cashman, for example, he did the thing, like, just a joke about
He asked for, what did he ask for specifically?
A reference for the landlord.
Yeah.
And that's all. He's like, and then that one fell through, and then he had to go rent again, and then they were like, "Ooh, I know this guy." Like, like that's. He made a little joke. I'm like talking about like real estate agents being evil. Like, I think you're evil. I'm pretty outspoken about that.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen all the property manager Facebook communities and stuff. I never rent to this guy. Blah 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 blah.
Really?
So, yeah, like all the time. So like I would be if I wasn't very lucky and a white private school man in Australia.
Yeah,
So
very fortunate.
yeah,
indeed.
exactly. So it's not so much of a risk for me,
Yeah. Okay.
which is good.
But it's weird because I was scared because the first rental I was in, there was black mold growing at the top of the home and it was just kind of making its way down. And we complained about it for 8 months before anything got done. So I was really scared for future rentals and rental references. Are they going to say I'm a shit tenant because
Exactly.
I hassled them?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
it's an urgent...
Exactly. It's literally like, yeah, you as a tenant, you try and say I need this fixed, and it's like, well, I'm going to evict you. Like, that's not fair or reasonable. Like,
No.
yeah. And then like you're at their kind of whims in terms of their references for you at the next rental, just because like they have property managers have the most easily bruised egos, and like you say one wrong thing, and then they're just going to call like on the whenever they get the reference phone call, just be like, this guy's a he kept asking me to do my job, and like I'm against that. So yeah, you can't do anything. There's no control over that. I reckon everyone, when they're applying for new places, make up whoever your previous property manager was. Just lie. Mate, put your dad there, put your mum there, put your mate there. Doesn't matter. They don't need to know.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
What do you reckon the future of renting is like in Australia? Because it was so incentivized from since I was born to pretty much it's ending now to buy homes, buy a lot of them, become a landlord. That is your financial stability. That's where we need to move as a society.
Yeah.
And now even the government's saying, don't do that. That's not the way to go. Where do you think rentals are going to go now?
Yeah, it's hard because we've made our whole kind of system, our whole support system depend. Like, look at super. The super balance that you need is entirely dependent on you owning the place that you live at the end of your career. If you don't own the place that you live when you retire, you're going to need a balance that's like 3 to 5 to 10 times higher than the balance that they say you need, which is already like $1 million and whatever dollars and keeps going up.
Yeah.
But yeah, people can't, like someone earning 50K a year, there's no way their super balance is ever going to get to that amount. So yeah, we've built an entire system where a whole like generations of people can't retire now unless like the boomers die and we build a bunch more houses really cheaply, which we're not doing. There's no plans to do that. We're going to build more houses, but they're still going to be the expensive houses, and like it's a problem. They need to fix it because it's going to get really expensive if they don't.
Yeah.
For the government, because they're the ones who are going to have to pay pensions and stuff. That like we phased out the pension so that people could do super.
Yeah.
And then pay for themselves when they retire. But now that's not working anymore because they can't buy houses.
And commission housing's been phased out as well.
Yeah, there's no one's building public housing. That's
Right.
They're only doing social and affordable housing, and affordable housing there's a different definition of that in each state, and they're very loose on the definition. In Victoria, an affordable house is not more than 30% of a median wage, and then they define a median wage as, for example, a single parent with one child, 150K. So like anyone with, and that's so 30% of your income at 150K if you're a single parent with a child.
Yeah.
So any single parent with a child who's under 150K by definition is going to be experiencing rental stress in an affordable house, which is like, hello?
The majority,
Yeah.
I assume.
That's yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of single parents with children that don't earn that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
we're kind of going towards an Australia. We've always been so fortunate to live in Australia. Beautiful country.
Yeah.
It seems like we're going towards a position that we might not be able to reverse and back out of pretty quickly. Like having travelled Europe and seeing some pretty icky places. Is this what we're going towards? Where buildings are in shambles and they don't have the government doesn't have money to fix them. Athens, for example. Oh, is that where we're going?
I don't know. I think we're a pretty rich country, so there's easy solutions that the government can do. So, but they don't have the political will at the moment. So I don't think, it looks, the current trajectory, absolutely, we're going pretty terribly. But easy fixes, very easy fixes, and we can right the course pretty quickly. So yeah, I don't know. It depends.
I'm wondering what kind of rights do you, I've heard the Ferg Neal take on the statistic that 70% of Airbnbs used to be long-term rentals, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very quick win. That's so much stock back on to the market, and then increase supply, lowers prices, blah 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 blah. But getting rid of things like negative gearing and the capital gains tax concessions, secretly, I think, and it's not very secret, but I think changing adverse possession laws to, instead of 20 or 30 years, give them 2 years or whatever. Let people take back houses that aren't being used. We had 1,044,000 homes vacant on the census night.
Wow.
If we look at, we can look at how many homes are actually vacant, because census people leave and whatever. It was COVID though, so most people were at home. But we can get data on which houses aren't occupied based on their utilities usage, and whether there's water to the property or internet connections or whatever. There's a lot of stuff we can do, and it all comes down to how the government taxes people, because that's their main incentive. So putting a huge tax on Airbnbs or taxes on vacant residential land, getting rid of because capital gains tax concessions and negative gearing tax concessions encourage people to purchase existing houses and then just kind of raise the rents and do whatever they want with them, because they get to tax deduct their interest payments. Right. And the fact that they can do that while we're in a rental crisis, and there's renters can't tax deduct their rent payments, but a landlord who is feeding this crisis can. That's not right. That's I don't agree with that.
Can we circle back to adverse possessions? Defining that would be
This is my edgy take. So adverse possession is if someone owns, it comes to we should all use land productively. That's the kind of the legal incentive behind it. But adverse possession in Australia is where someone hasn't been using their land productively. You have been using their land productively for 20 years if it's a private interest, so a landlord or the council or whatever, and then 30 years if it's the government, the state and federal government. So you can't just rock up in a national park and then sit there for 20 years. It's national parks are a bit harder to kind of look at, so we'll make it 30 years because it's whatever. But if you can stake out land and then use it productively for 20 years, that's your land. There's a bunch of laws and cases and whatever about what's meant by that. So you can whether someone's tried to enforce their stake and you've just said no, then that's not really adverse possession because they're trying to get it back, but you won't let them. So different story. But if something's unused for 20 years and you use it for 20 years, then that's yours.
So you want to bring that down to 2?
Yeah, I reckon. It'd be funny. Make people use their fucking houses. Like, stop land banking.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're not helping anyone. So I reckon if you're land banking and someone lives in your house for 2 years, it's their fucking house.
So what do we do here in terms of, this is on a government level, but we've been incentivizing for years, buy homes.
Yeah.
Buy homes, that's going to be your future. That's going to
Yeah.
be your savings. If that's off the table, which seems like it pretty much is nowadays,
Yeah.
it's becoming increasingly harder for people to be
Yeah.
landlords, and increasingly harder for people to be renters,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's only off the table now because of things that the government has done, though. They could reverse those things and it could be back on the table
Yeah,
for
okay.
people. Like, if they're so intent on everyone owning their home, if they get rid of negative gearing, capital gains tax, that it would effectively, and a bunch of other stuff, it would lower the price of housing, which would make it more affordable, more accessible for people on a median wage and lower.
Right.
So, like, it's not off the table. They just want you to think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've got my vote.
Yeah, well, I feel like I've learned so much. I'm just sitting here marinating.
We're keen to learn more if you're keen to stick around.
Yeah,
We'd
yeah,
love to talk about
absolutely.
the rental
Yeah.
crisis because it's something that we keep bringing up, and maybe we'll get to it in the part 2 of this episode.
Sick.
But it's something that is just such a buzz at the moment. But for guys like us that love our heads buried in sand,
Yeah.
we'd love to actually get our heads around it. But before you go, please barrel any camera and tell them what's happening in your world. 'cause
Probably
there's
this.
so
Probably
much.
this.
Yeah.
Unless you want to lean over to mine.
That's probably not going to work.
Hey, if you try hard enough, it will.
Where can the people find you?
Wherever. It's Purple Pingers. Look
With
it
a
up.
Z.
With an S. Wherever you want to. Yeah, with an S.
Or purple poggers, depending on
Do
how
what you
our
need to
marketing
do.
chat goes.
I thought we did it cool. I'm embarrassed.
Like wherever. I don't know. You don't need to. You don't want to.
No, please. Thank you for coming on to the Sharehouse podcast.
Thank you.
And hey, you can find us at SharehousePod on Instagram, at SharehousePod on TikTok. Email us, sharehousepod@gmail.com. And take it home, Mike.
Make sure to tell someone you love them today. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's cute.